Welcome to the new moon meditation and the solar eclipse for June the 10th, 2021. It'll be at 5:52 a.m. and...
You're in the central time zone.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and this new moon is in Gemini, is in the sign of Gemini, where the sun is at this time of year. Yeah, by the way, I'm Sunny Dowman. This is Martin Dowman. We're here at the Light Center, and we're recording this in conjunction with Unity of Lawrence. We'll put this on Unity of Lawrence's YouTube site as well as the Light Center's. So I hope that you're subscribing and joining and following and liking.
Very good. So, tell us a little bit about the astrology.
Okay. Well, astrologers always talk about eclipses as very intense times, and that's the case yet again. It's not just because of the eclipse, it's also because of all the other planets are cooperating with that intensity. The moon and the sun together in Gemini are being joined with Mercury, which maybe you know is retrograde right now. Mercury's moving backwards, and retrogrades invite us to, use the phrase revise, review. All those slow down, take a look at it, make sure it's saying what we want it to say, make sure we're doing what we want to be doing. And so Sun, Moon, and Mercury, all three together there in the sign of Gemini, this is going to especially be about our communication, the way that we talk to one another, the things that we are hearing from someone else. And so this is going to be a challenging time for the things that come out of our mouths and the things that we hear from someone else. So it's a good time to stop, take a breath, and ask questions. What I heard you say is, and just make sure that the communication is clear, and that I'm not hearing something that is not what was being said, because this is a very easy thing to do at this time. This is all that whole grouping of planets, just to make things even more fun, is in a square relationship with the planet Neptune. A square is tension. It's a little bit of a fraught relationship, and the planet Neptune can bring confusion and fuzziness and a lack of boundaries. I mean, there's other things Neptune can bring. Neptune can bring high ideals and fantastic, great ideas. But that square relationship can make things a little bit tough. Now, squares can also be strengths if we do the work. So I would invite us, again, use that, slow down, take a breath, ask a question, make sure that we know what we're doing. In addition, separately from that whole energy and that whole grouping, we have our friends Saturn and Uranus, who are also in a square relationship. And Saturn is boundaries, restrictions. I call Saturn the king of no. It's like no, not now, no, not yet. It's structures, it's systems. And Uranus is the planet of change, revolution, shift. We're going this way, and now we're going this way. And so what we may be finding, and this is an ongoing pattern that is it's getting more and less intense, but throughout the entire year of 2021, and we're moving into a phase where it's getting a little more intense right now. And so we may be finding things that have been stable and solid, Saturn, that are suddenly, kind of thrown into a little bit of upheaval or a lot of upheaval. Sometimes this upheaval is good, and we're like, finally this is changing. And sometimes this upheaval is what we perceive as bad. So again, we're going to breathe through it. And so, yeah, intensity. So, shall we get started? Let's just start by arriving in this moment and feeling ourselves where we are, noticing our body in space, the structure that is holding us up. Maybe it's a couch or a chair, maybe it's the ground itself. And just feeling our body in connection with what is holding us up. Feeling the air touching our skin. Listening to the sounds around us. Maybe there's a fan or a bird or the wind. And just noticing. And let's turn our attention for a moment to our breath. We deepen our breath. Bring that breath down into the belly. And release. That felt good. Let's do that again. And as we continue breathing at our own natural pace, we allow our shoulders to drop down away from our ears. Notice throughout our body, anywhere that we're holding tension. Maybe you tend to hold tension in your back or your jaw. I tend to hold tension in my thighs. So going and looking for that muscle tension and releasing and relaxing, letting it go. Allow yourself to melt in the place where you are. There's nowhere else you're supposed to be right now. There's nothing else you are supposed to be doing right now. And so as we feel ourselves grounded in this spot, we consider the earth beneath us. And mentally, we reach down into the earth and we place our root below us. A deep tap root going straight down into the earth, marking our spot. And that root searches down into the rich earth, seeking out nourishment, seeking out moisture, seeking out what we need, the energy, the flow of life that the earth provides to all life. And we begin drawing that energy flow up into our bodies. And we can feel that energy begin to rise up through that taproot and up into our bodies. And we allow that energy to rise until it reaches our root chakra. And the root chakra is at the base of your spine. The color is red. And we can envision this spinning in a clockwise motion. The root chakra is about, I have a right to be here. I am. Those are the key words of the root chakra. And then we allow that energy to rise a little farther to our sacral chakra, which is at about the level of our belly button. The color here is color orange. This is about creativity, generativity. This is about our ability to bring things into being simply from our imagination, from our thoughts. We imagine a thing and we bring it into being. We let that energy rise a little farther to the solar plexus, just at the little cave that our rib cage makes, the rounded place that are in our rib cage in front of our abdomen. And this is the wisdom chakra. When we say we have a gut feeling, we're talking about this chakra. We're talking about that wisdom that we know what we know without our brain involvement. This is our innate sense of knowing. And we breathe into that. And we allow that energy to rise a little farther into the heart chakra. The color here is a beautiful spring green. And this chakra is, of course, at the level of your physical heart. And we always like to envision this chakra going out in the front, and remember that it also emanates out through our back. Let's bring that energy up a little bit farther to our throat chakra. The color here is a beautiful clear blue. And this chakra is about the freedom, the ability to speak our truth, to speak what we know to be true. And we breathe into this one. And again, letting that energy rise even further to our third eye chakra, just between the eyebrows. It's actually at the center of the skull, at about the level of your eyebrows. And this is the sight, the seeing what is true. We breathe into this one. The color here is a beautiful indigo blue. And then let's go one more chakra, last one, up a little higher, is the crown chakra, right at the top of the head, just at the crown where you would put a crown. And this color here is, for some people, it is amethyst purple. For others, it is white. It is pure white. And this is the place where we connect with the higher divine realms. This is where we connect with our ascended masters, our ascended beings, angels, guardians, guides, and we will call them in. But for a moment, let's just breathe into that chakra. And then let's allow that energy to flow up and out and around it. That energy, once released through the crown chakra, some of it goes directly up. Some of it goes out and around and creates this beautiful flowing energy field that's called a toric field. It looks sort of like an onion or a pumpkin with the lines of energy that flow in and around and back down into the earth and up again. It's this beautiful energy flow that is actually happening all of the time. It's just that we're not always aware of it. And one of the points of meditation is to become still and become aware of what is already happening. Now that we have this awareness, and now that we are centered and grounded in this awareness, we reach our awareness out to those guides, those guardians, those angels, and call them in, or not call them in because they are already here. We adjust our awareness to remember that they are already here, gathered around us, with us at all times. But we are paying special attention to them right now as we enter this meditation, as we spend time grounding and centering and calming.
And as we begin this process of awakening in this meditation, we open ourselves to the wisdom that we have in awareness of the communication, the way in which we speak. Feel that welling up within you, speaking truth, being the voice of compassion, the voice of holding sacred space. And in holding this sacred space, we are aware that we are a part of the connection, the process with everything. That we are making shifts in the energy field with each thing that we communicate with. Even if it's an email or just a conversation or a process of writing something down with your hands on a piece of paper and a pencil or pen, as you may feel drawn to that process. But acknowledge the communication from within by our choice. We move the words, we move the process of connection forward in ways that reverberate in the field of energy. And not only our own energy, but those around us. And then we also acknowledge the wisdom that we don't see everything that comes. Everything that comes doesn't come straight at us. We are aware that things may show up out of the blue. And when that happens, we're aware that we pause, take that deep breath in, let the body know this isn't a surprise. Let the body know that it does not need to react. That we have the ability to shift that for the body with that deep breath, letting it know that the things that are surprises are okay. And that if I'm breathing deeply, the body knows it is okay. It's one of the beauties of breathing deeply into the belly. Let's do that now. Let's go another deeper by doing that one more time. Feel that release, that awareness, that consciousness that we have surrounding the possibilities that although we may not know where these things may come from out of the blue, we are able to connect and to hold them sacred and to find within ourselves the grounding point of being able to respond in positive, healthy ways, if possible. Or in the case of an issue that is really difficult, maybe it's responding with that compassion, the connection, the emotions that come up without feeling like we have to control them. They are just feelings, and we acknowledge them and are aware of them, and we give them that sacred space to be. And as we focus on that for just a moment, we may notice that feelings melt away as we acknowledge them. Because acknowledging our feelings allows us to move forward, to acknowledge ourselves, to be the observer of who we are in this process. With all of this energy that's moving in the astrology right now, and a solar eclipse as well, we acknowledge that things may not look the way they seem to normally. In the process of this eclipse, we are going to have a shift in energy. And we're going to be wise in breathing and listening and seeing in healthy ways that support not only ourselves, but those around us. And much like the process of putting those things into writing or into that connection, we put that into the writing of the universe around us in the way that we show up. So at this moment, I invite you to honor the self for a few moments. I now invite you to honor the other person or the other people out there. And we'll hold that as well. And now we honor the planets as their process of motion shifts energy in an amazing way. And we now take this moment to honor that process as well. And now I'm going to invite us to use our voices, if you feel comfortable, to create a tone that is truly yours, that comes from that throat chakra, supported by all the other chakras. Seeing it, being connected to it. And I will begin by making my own tone, and you may join in whatever way feels right for you. It begins with simply a deep breath in. Sit with that for just a moment. And once again, breathing deep in. And once again. And with that, still vibrating, and you can feel that vibration within you going out and going in. We are aware of our connection with all energy. We acknowledge the experience of this deep meditation supporting us through the processes of all that we do. And we hold love and light in this process. And when you're ready, I invite you to gently allow yourself to wiggle your toes or your fingers. Just become aware of the body again. And as you are ready, I invite you to open your eyes and return to this space. I am so grateful to be here, to be able to do this with you. I know that we are creating an experience that is powerful for us, and to have you joining us is a delight.
The next meditation is going to be a full moon meditation, no eclipse, on June 24th. And so we'll have a meditation posted for you a day or two beforehand. I think we mentioned, I know we've mentioned it many times, but these meditations are good to work with these energies 24 hours before, at the time of the actual lunation or the time that we give you, and then 24 hours afterwards. So, and of course, it's always a good time to meditate. If you are enjoying, or if you are interested in knowing more about the effect the planets are having on you, specifically on your birth chart, and you want to contact me and ask those questions and get an in-depth reading, please do so. My website is sunnyesastrology.com, and there are links there to send me messages and get in touch with me so that you can get a reading for yourself.
And I'm also going to share that lightcenter.info is the Light Center's website, and unityoflawrence.org is the website for Unity of Lawrence. We definitely appreciate you being here. This was a wonderful time together. And so we say, Namaste.
Namaste.